Hello and welcome to another deck idea brought to you by Double Sleeve. This is the final deck in the set 21 range where we are going through Gohan. This is by far, I believe, the most anticipated, everyone would agree, deck coming into set 21. Definitely putting green back on the map. Ignore the price that it says here on DVS Deck Planet. This is not going to be a cheap deck to play at all, especially if you're going to go max rarity on everything, and I think it's going to have a pretty heavy following. Let's go through the deck here. There's a few bits and pieces I want to touch on. You can make some modifications obviously to this list, and let us know what your thoughts are on this deck build, and let's get together as a community in the comment section below and just discuss what you think can be added to this deck. If you think there's anything that shouldn't be in my list and you would put something else in there, because there's going to be a number of ways to play this deck. I like the balance of what this one is here, but obviously let us know in the comment section below what you think. Please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content, and join me as we go through the final deck in set 21. So we have Gohan. When this leader is placed in your leader area, activate up to one hyperbolic time chamber from your deck. Auto, when this battle card attacks, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 green Saiyan to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. It's a really great searcher, and we've obviously got a lot of green Saiyans that we can add to our hand. An awakened condition when your life is 4 or less, or if you have a Super Saiyan Son Goku showing the results of training in play. Draw 1 card, switch up to 1 of your energy to active mode, and then add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 life left. Really important with when you build this list that you're making sure you're getting that Goku nice and early. Obviously, you have plenty of ways to search it. It's very searchable in this deck, and you can play out quite early, so you can awaken really early, but you want to make sure you're keeping your deck count as low as possible. This is at 53 cards. When your field card is out, your deck's going to be at 52. So it's fairly close to the 50. You could probably eliminate 1 or 2, maybe even drop the Gohan down by 1. Because everything is so searchable. But let's go through the leader backside here. So we have auto, once per turn, place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of your deck. When you use a card in a combo, draw 2 cards. And that works really well off the next auto, which is once per turn, when one of your mono green Son Gohan childhood battle cards attack. Use up to 1 mono green card with 5000 combo power from your drop area in a combo with its skills negated for the turn. So really nice way to cycle through your deck there, clean up your hand. Going into the hyperbolic time chamber, has barrier, which is nice for a field card, so it's fairly protected. Permanent, if there is a Son Gohan childhood under this card, and Son Gohan cards in your leader area get plus 5000. Now keep in mind, Son Gohan here won't work on the leader back here because it's not the name of the card. The name on the front side is Son Gohan, so that's only going to work on the leader front for the power boost. Has permanent, only up to 2 cards can be placed under this card, so a maximum of 2, and active main once per turn. If all your energy is green, this card is in active mode, you may play 1 card from under this card. If you do so, add up to 2 cards from your life to your hand. Notice the errata, you do not revive with this card. It is, I believe before errata it said add up to 2 cards to your life. It would have been absolutely broken if it did that, but still nice to be able to take your life down if you need a few pieces to help get the push. Now with the secret rare, I've put this right at the start to discuss it early on. I tossed up between Cell Max and this. I honestly picked this more for thematic reasons. One thing you need to watch out for with this God Rare or Secret Rare is it can be telegraphed. It's very obvious that it might be coming, so your opponent can negate your leader attack just to try and make sure that they're not going to get triple striked. I personally have a big love for Cell Max. Pay 1 for a quad striker that if it's nuked, you can just wipe everything. I really do like that as a SCR in most of my green decks, if not all. But this is, I think, for thematic reasons. You guys know I like things to stay as thematic as possible as well. It is still a really good secret rare for this deck. Outside of this deck, you wouldn't really see it hitting too much play though. So if there's any chance to put it in, we might as well put it in now. Has ultimate permanent. If this card's front is face up in your Z deck, your leader gets plus 20,000 power. If that card is not a Son Gohan childhood, negate that card's skills. So essentially it's just a 20k boost for your leader if it's not a Son Gohan. Auto for 1 green energy. If your leader card is a Green Saiyan, Earthling, or Namekian, when this card is used in a combo, choose up to one of your leader cards, switch it to active mode. That card gains triple strike for the battle and place this card from your drop in your Z deck face up at the end of the battle. Then remove this card from your Z deck from the game at the end of your opponent's turn. So nice little power boost. Triple strike is obviously amazing as well. Being able to sit at 25k triple strike and keep that until the end of your opponent's next turn, really solid, but obviously something to be mindful of when you're actually going for game. Your opponent can read through this, so don't rely on this as a solid game ender every single time. I do prefer, I think, Cell Max, but I think thematically this flows really well with the deck. Going into key pieces for our Awaken here, we have Super Saiyan Son Gohan showing the results of training. Deflect, when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Auto once per turn. If this card is in battle when you use a Super Saiyan Son Goku showing the results of training in a combo, choose up to one of your opponent's unisons and remove 2 markers from it. When this card in your hand is placed under a hyperbolic time chamber, in your battle area, place up to 1 Super Saiyan Son Goku results of training from your deck under a hyperbolic time chamber in your battle area, and then shuffle your deck. So obviously getting that combo works really well with the leader as well. Getting your ability to draw 2 cards and get additional skills if you're using set cards. This is the other piece of that play here, which is Super Saiyan Son Goku showing the results of training has barrier. When this card is played from under a hyperbolic time chamber in your battle area, gets plus 10,000 power for the turn, so it becomes 24,000. Auto, when this card in your hand is placed under a hyperbolic time chamber in your battle area, place up to 1 Super Saiyan Son Goku showing the results of training from your deck under a hyperbolic time chamber in your battle area and shuffle your deck, because Bandai likes to add a lot of words to cards now. All big walls of text. Active main for 1 green energy, place this card in your drop, and then draw 1 card, play up to 1 Super Saiyan Son Goku showing the results of training under a hyperbolic time chamber. Going into our next Goku card here, and just these 2 cards here, they come into under your hyperbolic time chamber with one of your Z cards, so we'll get to that soon when we get into the Z deck. The next Goku here, double strike permanent. If this card is in rest mode, your opponent's battle cards can't attack leader cards. Very important defensive piece here for the deck. Has a 1 plus 10k combo power, which is important to our Z leader later on. Limit 1 for 1 green energy. If your leader card is Green Son Goku childhood and you have 3 or more energy, you have a Green Son Gohan childhood in battle. When a Green Saiyan is used in a combo, draw 1 card and play this card from your hand. Very nice to be able to sort of recycle your hand, and you get a lot of cards where when it's in a combo you're bottom decking drawing, so you're going to have a lot of cycle and sequencing with this deck. Make sure you're doing all that correctly and plan your sequencing really well, because you want to make sure you're bottom decking the right cards at the right time and get that really good cycle. You cycle a lot here. We have 3 copies of Super Saiyan Son Goku Decision Made. This is a counterplay limit 1. Essentially just you play this card. It does come out cheaper though than 4, so for every Z energy cost of the Z cards in your leader and battle area, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1, so it can come down to a 1 cost. Permanent, if it's your opponent's turn and your leader is a Green Son Gohan childhood Z leader, reduce the combo cost of this card in your hand by 1, so it becomes a free 10k combo power, which is always nice to get free 10ks, just extra spice. Auto, add this card to your Z energy when this card is played. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 7 or less, add it to its own Z energy, and then choose one of your opponent's unisons and remove 2 marks from it. A lot of the things that we've seen with this set is now adding cards to Z energy. We see it with Oob, we've seen it with this deck here. Some people are going to be concerned about feeding your opponent Z energy, and then they're going to be able to get their plays off against you. But what you need to remember is it's also another alternate way of hand destruction, instead of it going to the drop where it's feeding overrealm, because generally if it's going to the drop you can potentially be feeding the overrealm, feeding the Z energy, it's going to be feeding a play one way or another. But at the same time, you'll get to a point and you'll know when you're playing the game yourself, if you get too many cards in your Z energy, they become essentially dead cards. They're useless. You don't really need all those cards in your Z energy, so the more you're stacking in there, yes, you're stopping them from needing to charge and put things in their Z energy, but eventually it just becomes a dead card in there as well for them, just as much as if it went to the drop area for them. We have the big battle card win con in this deck. Has Deflect and Double Strike. Although when this card attacks, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, KO it, and then your opponent places one card in their hand from the drop. Although if it's your turn, your opponent has 3 or more life. When this card is in a battle, when you use one of your green Son Goku cards in a combo with a combo cost of 1, your opponent places one card from their life into their drop area. So it does a little bit of life burn, but only down to 3. And then, so essentially, you want to be swinging this when they're at 3, burn that 1 life, and then you're going in with the big 35k double strike. So that's your strategy with this card, is getting them down to 3 life, burn 1, and then you're going in with a double strike. Active main, limit 1 for 2 green energy. If your leader card is green and your opponent has 3 or more energy, play this card from your hand, and this card gains barrier for the turn, so it becomes a deflect barrier. Now, for super combos, I've gone for a 50-50 split. Reason being, we all know how good Gohan is, bottom deck 1, draw 2, but the Z leader has the ability to combo a 10k Goku. And just to get that 10k Goku in here, use this when your life is 4 or less, draw 1 card. So you don't get the bottom deck cycle, but we get plenty of that with our leader already. So this still gets you the draw, and it also has the Son Goku tag and the 10k combo power that you can use in a combo for free with the Z leader. Going into our searcher for the deck, we have Krillin Battle Support that comes with this set. When this card is played, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 green Saiyan with an energy cost of 4 or less to your hand, then shuffle your deck, and auto them 1 if they're hyperbolic time chamber in your battle area and a skills battle card in your combo. When this card in your battle area is using combo, draw 1 card and add this card to its owner's Z energy. So with the Z leader, you'll be able to combo with its skills negated, and even actually the leader backside has the ability for a 5k, so that's where that second auto is going to come in handy. Now into some more tech choices for the deck, and these you can sort of plus and minus as your playstyle suits. I've tried to do a bit of a balance so you can see a wide spread. But these all, I think, have different places. Some of these can go in your side deck and you can boost some other numbers up, some new cards. So let's go through these quickly now. We have Son Gohan, Hidden Might. His Deflect unique double strike permanent. When your life is 3 or less, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 3, so it becomes a 2 cost. Auto, if your leader card is green, when this card is played, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO it. Or choose up to one of your opponent's unisons and remove a marker from it. Unison's not really a big strategy as much moving forward, but there are still some decks that rely on a unison. And for that reason, we also have Son Gohan, Latent Power Unleashed, has Deflect and Critical. When this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, KO it, and this card can't be KO'd by your opponent's skills until the end of their next turn. For 1 green energy, if your leader card is green, when this card is added to your Z energy, choose up to one of your opponent's unisons and remove 3 markers from it. Active main, limit 1 for 2. If your leader card is green or a Master's Teaching and your life is 4 or less, play this card from hand. So you're using this more for unison removal. Like I said, these can be some good tech choices for side deck as well, and you can plus and minus as you see fit for what your playstyle would suit in this deck. The amazing combo that is Son Goku, Faded Rival, and Piccolo Jr. Son Goku has Double Strike Barrier. Auto, if your leader card is green, when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO it. And for active main 2, if your opponent has 3 or more energy, place 1 Saiyan, Earthling, or Namekian card, all green, from your Z energy to the bottom of your deck, plays card from hand. It also has the Evolve, which isn't applicable in this deck, as the Piccolo Jr. that goes with it. Only 2 copies of this for the split, so it has dual attack. Auto, if your leader card is green, when this card attacks and your opponent your opponent discards 1 card from hand, so it can discard 2 cards for dual attack. An active main for 1 green. If you have a Son Goku Fatal Rivals in play, play this card from your hand, and then choose up to 1 of your opponent's unisons and remove 1 marker from it for each card in your Z energy. So again, more unison hate there. Going into promos here, so we have Great Ape Vegeta. It has critical blocker. The first auto isn't applicable to this deck. What's really important here is active main limit 1 for 1 green. If a field extra card is in a player's battle area, play this card from your hand. So this is a card that you play. It's a 19k critical blocker, which is a nice tech piece. Swinging critical. If you can get your opponent's hand size down, it's really damaging, and it also forces your opponent to choose, am I going to combo out? This is a 19k. Am I going to lose a card from hand, or am I going to lose a card from my life? And most of the time they're going to be destroying their hand just to try and prevent this from going through. Also a blocker tech choice if you need a blocker. New promo here is Raditz pulling ahead. His auto, when this card deals damage to your opponent, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, send it to their warp. So a nice bit of removal there. Then your opponent sends 1 card from their hand to their warp. Active main limit 1. If your opponent has 2 more energy, play this card from your hand. And then the other active main isn't applicable, but that's just for anyone who hasn't seen this card. It's for 1 green and 1 generic. If you have 4 more energy and you KO this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, KO, and then play up to 1 red, green, multicolor Vegeta or Nappa with 20,000 power from your hand. Please, Bandai, give us Vegeta's lineage. You started. You did him a dirty. We really want to see a Vegeta's lineage deck, so make it happen, Bandai. Going into, I think, everyone's favorite green promo card at the moment, Kaioken Son Goku the Furious has critical. When this card is played from your hand, your opponent discards 1 card from their hand and active main for 1 green. If you have 3 or more mono green energy, play this card from your hand. The active battle is for 1 green. This card gets plus 10,000 power for the battle, so it becomes 25,000 and minus 10,000 power during the next turn. So I'm not a big fan of using the second one active battle, but if you're going for the win and you need the extra power boost and you've got the energy to spare, go for it. The Kaioken Son Goku goes really well with the Fuse the Mastery because it is a 5 cost. The Mastery is an indestructible active main for 1 generic. If you have 3 or more energy, choose green battle cards in your battle area with 5,000 power or more and a total energy cost of 5, and then place them in your drop area. Play this card from your hand, and then when this card attacks, your opponent discards 1 card from their hand, or choose 1 card in the hand, place it in the drop area. Same thing, said differently. This is a tech choice, and shout out to M from my locals who showed me this card just a couple of weeks ago. Goku's Kamehameha. It's really nice counterattack. Limit 1 and negate the attack. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards. Energy cost of 4 or less and KO it. So nice bit of removal. The permanent isn't applicable here, but it's a nice one to have there if you need some removal in the deck for green. That's a 4 or less. A lot of cards now are coming in at a higher cost. You get a lot of removal pieces that say 2 or less. So this is just a nice piece that can still negate the attack and remove a higher cost card there. Homicidal Clones, take a life and play a token blocker for the turn, which is nice. And going to the new SR counterattack, this is our new Dormant. You don't need a Unison for, you don't need a Unison for Dormant, but this is a new floodgate for the deck. So it has counterattack limit 1. If your leader card is mono green, saying negate the attack. Additionally, if your life is 4 or less, you may discard 1 card from your hand. If you do, your opponent can't attack the turn unless they add 1 card from their hand to the Z energy. Permanent, you may activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost and by discarding 1 green card from your hand. So nice, you can do it for free. An auto, if your leader card is Green Son Gohan Childhood, when this card activates counter skill from hand, draw 1 card, so you get to replace that card that you discard as well. This is like a mix of your Boo Topo and Dormant sort of all combined in one, in terms of being free and then having that discard ability or adding to Z energy ability. So really nice sort of negate and floodgate for the deck. Going into our Z deck here. Now we've got 1 copy of Android 16 Final Wish. This is a piece that can help get your Z Awaken happening. So it's Z stack 1. You and your opponent have a total of 4 or more energy. Green Son Gohan Childhood Leader, has Deflect and Blocker, also has the permanent. If your leader card is Son Gohan Childhood, this card's skills can't be negated, which is very important, otherwise it's a bit of a waste of a card. Permanent, if your leader is Super Saiyan Son Gohan, the results of fatherly training, and this card will leave your battle area, place up to 1 Super Saiyan 2 triggered to Fierce Rage from under this card on top of your leader, and add cards from your life to your hand until you have 4 life left, and remove this card from the game instead. Auto, when your opponent plays a card or at the end of your opponent's turn, you may KO this card, which brings out your Z Awakened leader, which has native double strike, Z Awaken for 2 green energy if you are not going through the Android 16 play. Aura, when your mono green Son Gohan Childhood attacks, you may use 1 mono green Son Goku with 10,000 combo power or less from your drop in a combo with its skills negate for the turn. If you do negate the skill for the turn, active main, once per turn, discard 1 green card from your hand and draw 2. We have 3 copies of the piece that will help get our initial awaken happen. Son Goku assisting his son has Deflect. Order, if you have 2 or more energy, choose 1 hyperbolic time chamber from your battle area, switch it to rest when this card is played. Place 1 Super Saiyan Son Goku showing the results of training, or Gohan showing the results of training from your hand under the chosen card. If you place a card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost of 3 or less, and KO it. So it removes a piece and sets up your play. Active main for 1 green. If your leader is a green Son Gohan Z leader and you have 4 or more energy, you can remove this card from the game, choose up to 1 of your leaders, and it gets plus 10,000 power for the turn, giving a nice boost. Going into a couple of extra pieces here, we have 2 copies of Frieza, has Deflect Double Strike, and removes a 5 cost or less, so plenty of removal in this deck too. And also place 1 of your Z energy in the zone as drop, and your other green battle cards at energy cost of 2 or more attack. Your opponent has to discard a card from hand, and Jiren's a nice double strike finisher that can't be removed if you need it as a double strike piece as well. So look, that's the deck that I have built for Son Gohan. I'm truly looking forward to giving this deck a go. I can't wait. It's definitely, I would say, and I think everyone would agree, the most anticipated deck of this set. It's right up there. Is it unbeatable? No. It is green. Don't worry, Bandai have a way of treating green really poorly, but I think this is green hitting the map again, which is beautiful to see. It's had its time away from the sun, and it's time to come back. And what better way to come back than Super Saiyan 2 Son Gohan? It's a character that I love, and I think they've done him justice with this deck. It's not stupidly broken, but it's definitely going to be one of the strongest cards from this set. Thank you for joining me for not just this, if you join me for the rest of the series of all the Set 21 leader reveals. If you'd like to see all of the other leaders and deck ideas, please go down into the playlist and have a look at what is in there. We've got them all available for you to see. If you have any suggestions for this deck, what you'll make any changes, please let us know in the comment section below. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.